Why was NXT Black and Gold so great? It's because Triple H was an underdog in WWE. And when you're an underdog, you have a lot to prove. He needed to prove to everyone that he can run a wrestling promotion and that he can be a great leader. Especially the latter is important to him because he knows that Vince McMahon is a great businessman but not a great leader. Vince is actually a boss, not a leader, which is why a lot of people don't like him. Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, is one of the smartest and most manipulative people in the industry. He understands that he needs to have everyone on his side in order to accomplish his goals. All he needs to do is do the opposite of what Vince McMahon is doing or has done in the past and be the opposite of who Vince McMahon is as a person. For example, Vince loves bright colors because it attracts children. This explains the colors of the current NXT, the colors of Raw and of SmackDown, and John Cena's ugly t-shirts. Triple H did the opposite by giving his version of NXT more mature colors to mainly attract grown men and women. One more example is how Vince McMahon gave most of the superstars little to no creative freedom at all. Triple H did and is doing the opposite by giving the superstars enough creative freedom to keep them happy or satisfied. Even something as simple as taking pictures with fan favorites after they have won a championship puts him in a positive light. Vince McMahon would only do this with the very few superstars that he likes. Triple H's true colors will come out one day once he feels like he no longer has anything to prove. It seems like people have forgotten how Triple H used to be when he was a top WWE superstar and what he did to get to the top. As a top WWE superstar, Triple H was responsible for some of his colleagues losing their push and was responsible for some of them getting a push. The ones getting a push were his friends and the ones losing their push were those he didn't like. He got himself to the top by befriending main eventers and flirting with the boss's daughter. Triple H is a younger version of Vince McMahon. He will do anything to get what he wants. He always wanted to be the one taking over WWE after Vince McMahon. He stopped trying to hide this fact when he started calling NXT exclusive pay-per-views NXT TakeOver. NXT was competing more with the main roster than it ever was with AEW. Vince knew all of this, but he loves to play games, so he allowed Triple H to have a great level of success with NXT until it was time to put a stop to it and replace it with something that is supposedly better. The first step into his plan to erase Triple H's creation was forcing NXT into direct competition with AEW. Now that Vince McMahon is supposedly retired, Triple H is more powerful than ever before. Vince is going to play the same game again by allowing Triple H to reach a great level of success with Raw, SmackDown, and perhaps NXT until it's time to erase everything that Triple H created. Also possible problems between Triple H and Stephanie because Stephanie can now tell Triple H to do something even if Triple H doesn't want to do it. Women don't usually respond well to being more powerful than their man in any situation in life. It can lead to Triple H being unhappy in his marriage and maybe sleeping with a female superstar who's only using him to get to the top. So many things that will most likely go wrong in this Triple H era, but everyone is blinded by all the things that can and will go right. The point is that Triple H's success as head of creative and head of talent relations will most likely be temporary because Vince is not done yet with WWE and Triple H might not be this amazing leader and great person that a lot of people think and say he is.